All I'm saying is we're living at the end of the 6,000 years, and it's somewhere between 27 and 31.
Object truth and object truth are not the same. But what is the object?
And once that time runs out, Satan's time is over. And we're going to go home for 1,000 years.
Moving from the holy place to the most holy place. And then, that's where the purification of the sanctuary starts. And that also means that we are under the investigative judgment right now.
This is the unfitting day for Jesus' return. It is the most absurd thing I ever heard of. But they love that lie. And they repeat it from place to place. And the pastors repeat it, the administrators repeat it. He sets date for Jesus coming. All my sermons are online. If you could even find one sermon that said it.
In the Bible, there's not two hells. It's a mistranslation. Here's the mistranslation. And death and hell was cast into the lake of fire. Hell was cast into hell.
Unfortunately, 13 years ago, the General Conference, Ted Wilson sent the Vice President to talk to us with the Secretary of the GC, and they asked us to close all our television.
After reading what was before this specific verse, I knew I had to add it. So even when you study on your personal time, just like my dad used to say, you learn every single time.
And I said, but why? I said, 80% of the baptisms in Bolivia come through our television network. The fruits are good. He said, if you don't close them down, you're going to blacklist you worldwide. And I said, but I thought you were coming here so we could work together. They said, we didn't come to work together. We came here for you to obey us. And I said, but I have a board too. I have 4 ordained ministers. I have the retired president of OCI, the retired president of Beaton Valley, the retired president of Lord of Academy, my father, myself, and an engineer from PABN on our board. And I said, I have to take it to the board too. But I've never heard of that. Working together means close down? And my wife stood up and said, I have a question. You said all our projects. We have orphanages, we have schools, we have medical work, all of them. Close them all down. And my wife almost had a stroke because she's in charge of the medical work. And she said, you've never been sick and no insurance. You've never had your mother die or your children die because you're not anywhere near a hospital. You don't know what those people go through. Our airplane comes, picks them up, takes them to the hospital, brings them back alive. What do you know about that? And I said, calm down, sit down.
Going into the lower parts of the earth, and the way he took that was, Jesus went to hell. Jesus went to hell. And that he did not go into no sepulchre, algo así, sepulcro, as we say in
You
Spanish.
get into it. Because when I heard that, I was like, what?
I have a verse already set up.
He was indignant. And so they said, that's the only thing you obey us, or else we'll blacklist you.
Say why?
No, but we know why. Too much influence. And we're preaching present truth.
That's right.
And they don't want that preached. So I know why. I'm not a lay person. I've been an employee of the church all my life. And an ordained minister and administrator. So I know what's behind it. It's control. So I said, just a minute. I said, I have to ask Satan a question. Why? You're going to talk to Satan? Yeah, but don't worry. I said, Satan, just a question. What do you want God's people to do? To close all of their work around the world, or to keep opening more and more and more? Thank you. Satan says, close everything. Who do you work for? I said, you're saying the same thing as Satan said. God said, go into all the world, preach the gospel, open up work to every nation, kindred, tongue, and people. You come here and say the opposite of what God is saying.
Found out that truth by studying. And how did he get that desire to study? By the power of the Holy Spirit. But the way that we just saw, we just witnessed it through that video, through the sermon that was given on a Sabbath morning, during the church service, in front of the congregation, the flock that's supposed to be united. I'm sorry, but what I saw there was an example of a truth.
Who do you work for? I was being a little sarcastic. I should have been a little more. But I was just trying to illustrate. And so finally when the vice president who's still there, who was still on General Conference, who was interviewing people, he said, he said, you said something about Jesuits. I said, yeah, the Jesuits are the enemies of truth, and they're all around the world trying to stop God's work. He said, the Jesuits are not our enemies, they're our friends and counselors.
I don't think so.
Okay, I said, from now on, I will never call you pastor again.
Ellen G. White, she had problems with the conference. And they shipped her out to a whole nother country. Did she go against the conference? No. Did she make her own church? No. Did she make a parachurch? No. Did she control the tithings? No, my brother.
You have sold us downriver. Wow. I thought you were protecting the church at the General Conference, but if the Jesuits are your friend and advisors, then I know who came and told you to say what you did there. Wow. I'm sorry, but I said, that's the truth. Anybody who's a friend of the Jesuits is an enemy of me. Enemy of God. I said, because they tried to kill me, they tried to threaten me, they tried to poison me, and I said, so